So hello everyone. My name is Kiana Walton, and I am with the Maryland Insurance Administration Consumer Education and Advocacy Unit. And welcome to today's event, the Resource Fair. We hope that today's event you will find to have different resources that you will find be helpful for you, a loved one, or someone you know, or just for the people in the state of Maryland. Before we get started, in an effort to reach consumers about future events, we would like to do a quick poll just to see how we all got here today. So if everyone can take a few minutes to complete the poll. Okay. And now we're going to reveal the results. And it looks like most of us got invited here today through email. So thank you and welcome. So to make sure that we continue to provide good quality and informative events, and to make sure we are reaching a wide audience, we would appreciate it if everyone can take a few minutes at the end of the event to complete our event survey. It will be placed in the chat box towards the end. Just a few housekeeping rules. Please leave phones and computers on mute for this event. All cameras off unless you are presenting. If you have questions for today's speaker, please use the chat box and make sure the question is directed to everyone. And we will save the questions towards the end. So again, thank you and welcome. And we will start with our first presenter, Ann Johnson from 211 Maryland United Way.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so glad to be here with you. I am from 211 Maryland. I'm from the Central Maryland call center. And you can go ahead to the next slide. Thanks. Let me just briefly go over the history. 211 nationally was started in the year 2000 when the Federal Communications Commission approved 211 as the 3-digit phone number that people can reach out to nationally for health and human services resource information. In Maryland, the pilot for 211 was launched in 2006, and then in 2010, Maryland passed legislation which enabled 211 to be a permanent system in the state of Maryland. Next slide, please. In Maryland, we do have 4 regional call centers, and usually people's calls do get routed to the call center in their region, but all of us and all the call centers can serve any Maryland resident. I'm from UWCM, the United Way of Central Maryland call center, serving Baltimore City and the 5 surrounding counties. So that's Baltimore County, Carroll County, Harford County, Howard County, Anne Arundel County. And then we have CCSI, Community Crisis Services, is the call center serving Southern Maryland, the counties that are closest to the Washington, D.C. area. The Mental Health Association of Frederick County, they are the 211 call center for Western Maryland. And Life Crisis Center on the Eastern Shore serves the Eastern Shore of Maryland. Next slide. So 211, when you call 211, you reach a trained specialist who assesses the reason why you have called, provides information and referral. If it is a crisis situation, our specialists are trained to provide crisis intervention. We also provide advocacy for callers who may have barriers to getting help. And we do what we call case-based follow-up for vulnerable or more at-risk callers, and quality assurance follow-up to just get a sense of what happens once we've given referrals. We want to check back and see, did our suggestions lead to the help that the caller was looking for? 211 measures met needs and also identifies gaps in services. Sometimes we don't find a single resource to meet the need of a caller, and that goes into the reporting that we do. It has led to decision makers in our region considering adding additional resources or new resources. All the call data that we collect informs planning and decision making in our region. Next slide, please. So 211 is a social utility. 211 is also a partner in disaster response. We do serve that role as well. So for example, if there were major flooding in this area, the Red Cross would very likely turn calls over to us to provide shelter opening information. 911 might turn calls over to us to answer questions about evacuations, evacuation routes, important information, so that emergency responders are freed up to go out and do the emergency frontline work that they need to do. FEMA also has callers contact 211 to learn about disaster recovery funding and the process of applying should a disaster be declared in our region. And we provide rumor control during, such as during the pandemic and other disasters, and we track emerging needs. That is an important part of our role. Overall, our mission is to connect people with community resources skillfully and compassionately. Okay, next slide. So to dive a little deeper, our call center, the Baltimore region, the United Way of Central Maryland call center, we are a direct service of the United Way here at our call center. We are available 24/7. The staff who takes the calls and our program as a whole is accredited by the Alliance of Information and Referral Systems, which is the national professional organization for information and referral, not only for 211, but also for offices of the aging, military call centers, and many of the foundations for certain health conditions where they're giving information out to the public. At our call center, we do have the ability to bring on an interpreter when someone's first language is not English, and our language line can cover over 150 different languages. And in 2020, our call center alone answered 132,590 calls. Last year, that number was just under 150,000 calls for 2021. Next slide. What happens in a call when the caller contacts 211? Our first standard to meet is that we do need to create, with our voices and our listening skills, a safe space for the caller to feel able to let us know what is going on. We want to establish rapport right away with our caller and to provide empathy and support. It is critical that we use our active listening skills and give the opportunity to the caller to give voice to their feelings, to what they're experiencing, and to let us know what resources we need to find for that caller. We then clarify the need. We'll ask some key questions to assess the situation and to help us identify resources. And also, many of our callers may have a multitude of needs that they are working on. We do try to help the caller prioritize what are the most urgent needs, and we may arrange to call the caller back. We may focus on a few of the most urgent circumstances in the call and then arrange another call to continue working on the needs at hand. Our next step is to search our 211 database to find appropriate resources. We use the caller zip code to pull up resources in order of how close they are to the caller, how accessible. And it will not rule out resources that are located farther away. We just do want to try and make the resources we provide most possible for the caller to connect with. Our database has well over 7,000 agencies and programs and services in it, and we have a dedicated staff whose role it is to, on a regular basis, verify that the information we have is current and up to date, and so that we can make any changes in the information we're giving out. We are only as good as the information that we're providing. And so in a call to 211, we do try to provide, if possible, 3 or 4 resources that seem to meet the need of the caller. And we definitely encourage the caller to call us back at any time if the need is not met, if we need to keep working on that need, or if the caller realizes that there are other resources they would like us to also look for. Next slide. So I want to just describe a couple of calls that I think illustrate the way we do our work. And Erica took a call from a caller who let Erica know that she is a cancer patient and she needs help to arrange rides to get to treatment appointments. And so Erica asked a couple of questions to learn where the caller lives, and then found some resources to tell the caller about where rides to medical appointments could be offered. And she found some that were particularly appropriate for someone who is going through cancer treatments. But that's not where the call ended for Erica. Erica opened the door to learn a little bit more. She said to the caller, "I imagine that you're going through quite a bit right now." And just making that statement resulted in the caller opening up and letting Erica know that she tries to keep strong. She doesn't want to be a burden on family members or neighbors who are busy with their own lives and their work. And she really is feeling on her own with everything she is going through. That led to Erica acknowledging how difficult and challenging it most likely is, and Erica added resource information for assistance with companion care, for support groups, for peer support, for a number of services that would offer more support and offer this caller the opportunity to connect with others who might have quite a bit additional to offer this caller. So that I think is a very good example of how our role is not just to hand out phone numbers or address the stated need, but to try and learn enough to add other resources that could reach some underlying needs that our callers may be experiencing. Next slide. Veronica, I am thinking of a call where Veronica heard from a caller who is in need of assistance with rent. This is the top kind of call that we've been receiving. People are now becoming at risk of losing housing. And this is a caller who was impacted by the pandemic, had lost employment for quite a bit of time, and has fallen several months behind with rent. She has now started a new job, but really cannot find a way to catch up with the debts that she has to the landlord. And now she has received an eviction notice. So Veronica was able to connect this caller with the information and a little about the process involved for applying for rent assistance, to some assistance going on through her local government, but also to some other organizations. There are some programs that for this caller, she lost a certain kind of job, one where a national fund had been set up for workers in that field to help with emergencies like rent. And Veronica was able to give the information about those resources. Next slide. Michael took a call from someone who had a utility shutoff notice. This person was hoping to get help right away because the utility company was willing to consider a payment agreement if a down payment would be made today. So Michael looked for resources that could help this caller. And there are several that would be able to work not only with the caller, but also with the utility company to try to set up more time so that the applications could be worked through. And so to keep the caller's service safe for some temporary period of time to allow the caller to connect with that assistance. Michael also was sure to ask a few more questions to this caller and learn that the caller is a veteran. That allowed Michael to identify some additional resources that had funding potentially for this caller because of his veteran status. Next slide, please. The kind of calls that we receive, it could be anything related to health and human services. Very often it is a housing related need. Someone needs rent assistance or needs to find a new place to live, or needs help to learn how to make a complaint about conditions in the home, anything of that nature. We've been getting calls quite a bit about food insecurity, and there are a variety of different kinds of food resources that we've been connecting our callers to. Utility assistance, health-related calls have been really huge during COVID. They sometimes reach really huge numbers whenever there is a change that's been announced with the state of the pandemic in our area, and maybe the new availability of ordering COVID tests or where to get boosters. So COVID related calls in the category of health has been a big reason for people to call. We've helped people understand how to apply for benefits. Many people have needed to explore that for the first time. We help callers with employment-related issues, such as looking for a new job, making a complaint about unsafe work conditions, anything related to employment. Many kinds of legal help, many forms of mental health resources or substance abuse assessment or treatment options, crisis situations like someone who is trying to leave a domestic violence situation. All of those kinds of calls may be the next caller presenting to us when we answer a call. And people might have a need that is not at all an urgent situation. Somebody may call us to find out who their elected officials are or where they might donate a sofa. All right, next slide. So most often it is the person needing help themselves who calls us, but it can be a family member, friend, or neighbor. It might be an employer looking for resources for a staff member, case managers, hospital staff, school staff, elected officials, other government agencies or nonprofits may call us to work on a situation, and emergency services might reach out to us. They may be working with a community member who has needs out of the scope of emergency services, but that police officer or someone handling a fire from the fire department could call us to help someone to access needed assistance. Next slide. We do have a website, so not everyone reaches out by phone. Some people go to our website and can submit a request to get an email or to text us and get resources in that way. And people can also search our website themselves to find the resources that they need. Next slide. So I hope that those of you who are aware of us already will always feel free to give us a call and work with us. We often work with those staff people from other agencies who are trying to find resources for someone they're working with. And we like to be a part of that team. So always reach out to us. Karen Mark is our operations director. She can also arrange for speakers to do training or attend resource fairs. So Karen is one important contact person. Ariana Wilson is the administrator for our resource database. And if someone wants to know how their agency can be included, Ariana and her team would be a good one to reach out to. And I am the volunteer coordinator. My role is to train all the staff who we onboard, our new hires, volunteers. We have a number of social work interns from area universities and colleges who do field placements with us. And my role is to onboard and train the staff. Our website is 211md.org. And please feel free to email me, ann.johnson@uwcm.org, with any questions that you have. I will be very glad to respond and help you connect with anyone in our organization who would be helpful, or if you have people who would like to look into volunteering with us, I would love to connect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ann. We appreciate all of the great information you gave us. Great stuff. Thank you.
Sure. Okay.
So our second presenter will be LaTanya Clark from the Department of Aging Nutrition Program. Thank you for joining us today.
Good afternoon. I'm Tammy Clark, and I'm the Senior Nutrition Program Manager for the Maryland Department of Aging, and it's my pleasure to be with you today to provide an introduction to the department's Senior Nutrition Program. Next slide, please. I'd like to begin with why healthy eating is important for older adults. A healthy, balanced meal improves overall nutrition, food security, and decreases the risk of malnutrition. Studies show that healthy eating contributes to decreasing emergency room and hospital admissions, as well as readmissions to hospitals and to long-term care facilities. Next slide. There are general benefits of nutrition across the lifespan. For older adults, dietary benefits can have a positive effect on almost every aspect of life. Healthy eating is important for physical and emotional wellness. Healthy eating as we age, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat now, excuse me. Healthy eating as we age also contributes to strength, stability, and overall independence. And as the systems of the body decline with age, healthy eating becomes more important as we get older. Next slide, please. There we go, thank you. Diet directly impacts overall health. Studies demonstrate that many chronic diseases can be curtailed or even prevented with proper nutrition. Educating older adults about overall benefits and preventive health benefits of nutrition are key components of the department's nutrition program. Next slide. The Maryland Senior Nutrition Program is comprised of 4 major components. First, the congregate and home delivered meal programs are made possible with federal, state, and local funds. These 2 programs concentrate on serving a nutritionally balanced, fully prepared meal. Both programs are available throughout the state. Second, the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program is a federal program sponsored by USDA. It provides coupon vouchers for fresh produce at the farmers market in the state of Maryland, and as well as in the District of Columbia. And this program is also available throughout the state. Third, the Commodity Supplemental Food Program, My Groceries to Go, is also funded by the USDA. This program provides a monthly delivery of pantry items and is offered in the city of Baltimore, as well as several other counties. And the final program, the Maryland Senior Nutrition Restaurant Initiative, is an initiative of the Department of Aging. It is a federally funded program providing restaurant meals to Marylanders, older Marylanders throughout the state. Next slide, thank you. In 1965, in response to tremendous concern about food insecurity for older adults, Congress passed the Older Americans Act. This act established the Congregate and Home Delivered Meal Program. Older Americans report that being a part of these programs has filled a void in their daily food consumption, giving them healthier nutritional status, improved dietary intake, boosted food security, and enhanced their well-being. Of all these elements contribute to older adults as they desire to remain in their homes and live within their communities. Eligibilities for this program is simple. There's basically one requirement. You have to be 60 and older. That's it. Also, the spouse of any person 60 and older, and any older adult participating, the spouse of any older adult who is 60 and older who participates in the program is also eligible for meals. Individuals that are 18 and older who live with a person who is 60 and older, or who live in an apartment complex where we provide meal service, is also eligible. Next slide. Congregate meals are another way of saying group dining. Like home delivered meals, congregate meals are available to people 60 and older throughout the state of Maryland. These programs place a priority on older Americans that have the greatest and social economical need. The greatest and social economical need is defined as low income, minority, rural, and limited English proficiency. While the program does not have financial requirements, contributions are accepted. Currently, we have about 117 congregate sites located throughout the state of Maryland in our senior centers. And we also have meals that are located in other senior communities and other creative areas, such as maybe churches or community rec centers. In the fiscal year FY19, we served over 1 million congregate meals at all of our locations. Next slide. This slide highlights some of the places where you'll find some of our congregate meal sites. The added benefit of congregate sites are the information, activities, and services that are generally offered there. Activities like Wii bowling, yoga, movies, bingo, exercise classes, dance groups. Prior to the pandemic, some locations even offered chair massages. Who doesn't want a massage? Congregate sites are a great way to connect people to services throughout the aging network, many of which are listed here. Congregate sites are also a way of addressing isolation, loneliness, and classes that can help with chronic disease self-management, as well as nutrition education. Many older adults during the early months of the pandemic, the curbside grab-and-go meals were a big hit. They relieved worry, stress, and anxiety about food security. Next slide. Maryland's home delivered meal program is unmatched and it's reaching all of our state's frail, homebound, and disabled adults. In partnership with the College of Agriculture and Natural Resource Department at the University of Maryland College Park, a priority screen was developed to reach those with the greatest need. Additionally, each participant receives an assessment to determine their level of independence and if they need additional services like durable medical equipment or legal assistance. Contributions are also accepted for our home delivered meals. Since the start of the pandemic, the nutrition programs have served 9.5 million meals and had over 1.2 million visits through either the home delivered meals or the grab and go programs. That's about 1 meal a day for each person during the pandemic. The Maryland Department of Aging's role in making home delivered meals available throughout the state was a lifeline for many during this time of uncertainty and during quarantine. Next slide. The home delivered meal program includes meals, includes miles and miles. Well, they include meals too, but they include miles and miles of roads traveled throughout the state to reach our participants. Deliveries are made door to door. And as you can see here, Meals on Wheels is one of our local providers that's received funding throughout our delivery services. And a vital link is also formed between the participants and the people who delivered their meals. The drivers and participants become trusted friends, they form bonds, and they look forward to seeing each other on a regular basis. The drivers are also the eyes and ears of our program for emerging needs and concerns. They offer immediate connection to services for our homebound participants. Food deliveries often come with nutrition education, flyers, and news of new services that are available, as well as things like fraud alerts. Drivers, too, are also known to have saved lives by reporting what they observe when a participant does not answer. Next slide. Sponsored by the USDA, the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program provides coupons to low-income adults 60 and older of age with household incomes no more than 185% of poverty guidelines. Each coupon is made available, the coupons are made available in most counties and are typically issued in July. Each book has a value of about $30 and can be used to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables and honey, herbs from local farmers. The coupons help with fresh nutrition meal options and also boost food buying power. Next slide. USDA funds a commodities supplemental food program in every state. Here in Maryland, we wanted to remove the stigma associated with commodity programs, so we rebranded our program, My Groceries to Go. My Groceries to Go is a monthly delivery of about 40-pound box of assorted pantry items. The boxes typically include canned fruit, vegetables, dry or canned milk, cheese, canned meat, peanut butter, dried beans, whole grain cereals, rice, potato, or pasta. Currently, we have the following My Grocery to Go partners here in the state. We have Allegheny County, Garrett County, Capital Area Food Bank, the Salvation Army, and Meals on Wheels of Central Maryland. We currently deliver about 4,000 boxes across the state each month. This program has a dynamic potential for expanding. The more people we serve, the more people that we can serve. Next slide, please. May create new business opportunities with local restaurants to feed our homebound older adults. Second, restaurants around the state were closing and many were struggling to keep their businesses open without restaurants coming into their restaurants, without customers coming into their restaurants. Third, the concern about the effect of isolation on older adults quarantine led us to think about how we could give them something exciting to look forward to. And finally, celebrating culture and ethnic varieties in meals was considered something everyone could try and enjoy. At the present, we've served 500,000 meals across the state. Next slide. Again, here's a list of Maryland's Department of Aging senior nutrition programs. The range of programs brings variety in the way we use limited resources to support nutritional needs of older Marylanders throughout the state. These programs continue to increase the quality of daily diets, ensure greater food security, promote socialization, and introduce nutrition education and improve overall well-being. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions at the end of the program. My contact information is listed here if you'd like to reach out. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Latanya. Great information. We appreciate your time. Thank you. All right, and our final presenter for this afternoon is Ian Edwards from the Maryland Department of Aging's DME Reuse Program. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you very much. It's great to meet you all virtually. My name is Ian Edwards. I am the director of the Department of Aging's Durable Medical Equipment Reuse Program. I'm also a physical therapist and a doctor of physical therapy. And today I'd like to share more about how our program came to be, some more detailed information on how our program works, the many great components of our program, and how you can access our program today at the end of the presentation. Next slide, please. So what do we do exactly? This is a first of its kind program where we collect donations of gently used durable medical equipment, home medical equipment, or mobility aids. We then sanitize and repair each item as needed. Then we provide them back to Maryland residents across the state. We serve Maryland residents with any illness, injury, or disability, regardless of their age. Though we're the Department of Aging, we serve pediatrics all the way through older adults, and we provide our service at absolutely no cost. Next slide, please. So the purpose of our program is really twofold. There's the equipment distribution piece and the donation collection piece. Now, the most obvious benefit of this program is that we provide durable medical equipment to residents in need. Our program is designed not only to help residents who don't have insurance at all, but also individuals who have insurance but might be experiencing delays in coverage, or those who are in a waiting period between when they learn they need equipment and when they can actually get their hands on it, or even individuals who need equipment that might not be covered by insurance at all. Our goal is to close that time gap and provide that equipment to improve their mobility, allow them to live safely at home, or even navigate the community, or navigate the workplace if that's what they wish to do. Now, early on, we knew that this first piece, assisting Marylanders with their mobility, would provide a great service. But what we didn't initially realize was the tremendous positive environmental impact this program would have. Next slide, please. When we started collecting donations of durable medical equipment, we realized that this equipment many of the times was on its way to landfills. So we played a role in diverting this equipment from landfills by collecting it via donation and then reusing it. To date, we've collected over 7,000 items, which is equivalent to 263,000 pounds or over 130,000 cubic feet. And to visualize this, if you imagine a full 3-bedroom home, and you picture filling every room in that 3-bedroom home from floor to ceiling with durable medical equipment, and then picture that times 8 homes. That's the amount of space underground that we've diverted from landfills in the form of durable medical equipment. And this is, just in our first year and a half or so of operation. So a tremendous impact that we're hoping to continue having. Next slide, please. Now, I've been mentioning them throughout the presentation, but what exactly is DME? DME stands for Durable Medical Equipment, which is defined as equipment that 1, serves a medical purpose, 2, is durable, meaning it can withstand repeated use and thus be reused, and 3, is appropriate for use in the home. Now, there's many common types of durable medical equipment, and we provide the majority of them. And with our program, we separate the types of durable medical equipment into 2 categories. There's basic durable medical equipment and complex equipment. Basic equipment are those things where you'd see if you walked into your local CVS or Walgreens or Rite Aid. These are devices such as canes, crutches, walkers, rollators, bathroom equipment like shower chairs, tub transfer benches, or bedside commodes, along with rollators. And then we have complex equipment, which is more complex, meaning that it's either more complex and that it requires additional training in order to safely operate the device, or it requires more one-on-one fitting or more specific fitting to the individual, or simply it's just a bigger, bulkier item that's a little bit harder to move around. And these include power wheelchairs, power scooters, mechanical lifts, commonly known as Hoyer lifts, and home hospital beds. Next slide, please. So now, knowing what DME is, how does this actually work? How does our program operate? Once a donation is collected at one of our many sites around the state, we eventually transport all donated equipment back to our reuse center. This is our 56,000 square foot headquarters, which houses the majority of our operation, located in Cheltenham, Maryland, which is in Prince George's County. So again, all donated equipment is collected, which is then brought back to our headquarters where it is first, next slide, please, where it's first sanitized. So we sanitize each item to national standards using a 3-step sanitation process. The final step being a full cycle and one of our hub scrubs pictured here. A hub scrub, I know it looks like a spaceship. I always say it looks like we're sending a wheelchair to space, but we're not. We're keeping it here for Marylanders. This is a specialized durable medical equipment cleaning machine that combines chemical and ultraviolet light to clean, disinfect equipment using a wraparound high pressure spray system. And we developed all of our sanitation processes during the height of the pandemic, and we're maintaining those procedures throughout, regardless of the state of the pandemic. Now, following sanitation, each item is dried and then repaired. So each item is inspected for safety and general function and is repaired if needed. And on the other hand, say we get a piece of equipment where there's just a piece that we can't replace, we can still cannibalize the equipment, break it down for parts, and then use those parts to assemble fully functional items. Next slide, please. Following repair, items are stored in our warehouse until they're matched to their new owner and eventually distributed to them. So here's a few of our happy clients here after receiving their new devices from the program. Next slide, please. Now, once we provide a piece of equipment to its new owner, we want to ensure they're able to use it safely. As a physical therapist, oftentimes we see individuals using equipment or using equipment in an unsafe manner. It may not be sized correctly, or sometimes it's in the closet or in the basement or in the attic because they simply don't know how to use it or how to use it safely. So to mitigate that, we built a mock bedroom and bathroom setup for those who can make it to our reuse center, where they can try out their device in a safe environment before taking it home. Now, as an additional means of providing more direction to the use of each type of equipment, say there's that individual who can't make it to our reuse center. Next slide, please. Now, to help with this, we also provide hard copies of instructional material and make videos available on how to use each device safely, how to properly maintain a device, and how to make minor adjustments and more. So with each device that we provide, there's a packet attached to it that includes, on the left here is what we call an instruction sheet, and that has written language on how to care for, how to properly use a device. And then on the right there is a video sheet. This is where you can type in the URL address, or if you're savvy with a smartphone, users can scan that QR code and a video will pop up on, again, how to use a device, how to safely size it, etc. Next slide, please. Now, although the hub of our operation, as I mentioned, the reuse center is located in Prince George's County, our goal is to make this service available across the state for both distribution and donation collection. So to do this, we've set up collection containers at various county landfills. These are represented here by the blue icons. These are more convenient locations so residents across the state can go and drop off a donation at one of these sites rather than having to make the trip all the way to Prince George's County at our main warehouse, if that's a little bit further for you. Now, on the other hand, represented here by the yellow and red icons, these are what we call our satellite sites. These are extensions of our program at partner institutions where residents can both drop off donations just like the landfill sites, but they can also pick up equipment for use. So for example, say John Doe in Baltimore City contacts us and says, hey, I need help getting around. I could really benefit from a walker and a shower chair. So we say, great, we get all the paperwork from John, and we send that shower chair and walker up to Baltimore City to our site, which is the Waxter Senior Center, where he has a more convenient pickup location rather than making it all the way down to us. Now, we do not have the ability to deliver items directly to the home or set up the devices. So in this way, this is our goal in making equipment more convenient. And on the other hand, when that's not a possibility, if transportation is an issue, we do our best to work with local AAAs or other organizations to try to get that equipment to the user. A detailed list of our sites that are currently open and each site's operating hours can be found on our DME webpage on the Department of Aging website, which we'll link here at during the last slide. Next slide, please. Now, what's the request process actually like? Essentially, our main eligibility requirement is that the beneficiary or the user of the equipment is a Maryland resident. Beyond that, again, we serve any resident with any illness, injury, or disability, regardless of their age. And again, they don't have to have insurance. So if they're uninsured, we're happy to provide the equipment in that case. Even if an individual is going through the insurance process and there's a time delay, we're able to provide equipment in that case. Or even if they have insurance, but they're not approved for the most appropriate device, we're happy to provide it in that case as well. Next slide, please. Now, how do you actually go about requesting the medical equipment? So we just require a request form to be completed. One of two request forms. We have a request form, as I noted, for basic durable medical equipment and then complex durable medical equipment. All of these forms can be found on our Department of Aging website where they can be downloaded. Alternatively, the basic request form can be completed fully online. The information's on the website as well. Or if you prefer a hard copy, just contact us, give us a call or shoot us an email, and we're happy to mail you one of the hard copies of the forms. At that point, just submit the form back to us, and then we'll be in contact about if that equipment is in stock, and then their work to find the best pickup location for that device. Next slide, please. Now, lastly, for the sake of keeping this presentation brief and relevant to you all, our service is now available. So if you know of any individuals who may wish to donate or receive equipment from our program now or in the distant future, please encourage them to contact our program directly or visit our DME webpage on the Department of Aging website for additional information. And with that, thank you so much for your time and attention and the opportunity to share more about the program. Happy to answer any other questions along with the other great presenters before me.
Thank you, Ian. I appreciate the information. So thank you, presenters. Great information. We're going to get to the Q&A. I do have a few questions already in the chat. I have the first question is for Anne, and it's from Rich Hamilton. And he asked if the follow-up that you do with the callers, is it done randomly or is everyone followed up on?
Okay, great question. So we call a percentage of our 211 callers to follow up on the outcome for that caller. So that's one form of the follow-up that we do. So that is, we offer it to most of our callers, to almost all of them, unless there's a reason why the caller really needed to get off of the call and didn't want to stay on to discuss follow-up. We do offer it to pretty much all of our callers, and then we actually call back a percentage. However, the other kind of follow-up is what we term case-based follow-up, and that we follow up with every caller who we have a concern may have barriers to getting help. Maybe there's a language barrier, maybe someone does not have internet access, or maybe someone has presented that they are really in an at-risk situation, and we must follow up to make sure that the caller is connecting to the needed assistance. So I hope that answers that question.
Thank you, Anne. So Latanya, I have a question for you. What resources are there for meals for disabled homebound individuals under 60?
That I would encourage you to reach out to your local Meals on Wheels in that area, wherever it is that you live. Our programs deal primarily with those who are 60 and up. If they are disabled and under 60, I would encourage them to reach out to the Meals on Wheels program in their area if they do not reside with someone who is 60 and older.
Okay, thank you. Ian, would you accept a stair lift as a donation?
Great question. A stair lift is one item that we don't work with just because they're custom to each set of stairs, the length of stairs in the home, though we do get many of the similar questions about stair lifts. If you give us a call, we can help direct you to an organization or individual you could hopefully donate the stair lift to as an alternative. And same goes for any other equipment we don't accept. We do our best to find another resource for you.
Now, someone did ask, what's the best location for a hospital bed donation in Baltimore City?
Sure, the best place to donate a bed would be one of the two landfills in Baltimore City, the Northwest Transfer Station or the Quarantine Road landfill. You can arrive during any of the standard landfill hours and just tell them you have the medical equipment item to donate, and they'll direct you to our collection container. And thank you in advance for your donation.
Great. So I had people that asked about slides as well as the recording. The recording will be available in a couple of days and it will be found on our website. I believe Joyce put the information in the chat, as well as if everyone can please take time to fill out our event survey. That would help us as far as getting feedback on what topics you would like us to have presenters talk about, as well as just our events that we've done, how we are doing. Someone also asked, Ian, this is for you again, are ramps available?
We do have some, it's not a common donation. We do have some smaller threshold ramps or shorter ramps, usually temporarily for 1 to 2 steps at times. And then I saw here additionally another question. Sorry to jump ahead of you there.
That's okay. Thank you for helping me.
Sure. In terms of income requirements, there's no income requirement for the DME program at all. Again, the main eligibility requirement is that the beneficiary is just a Maryland resident, but no income requirement.
And they also want to know for Latanya and Ann if you had income requirements for the programs as well.
I'll go ahead and go first. So for those who are 60 and older, for any of our federal programs, there's no income. Our congregate and home delivery programs, there's no income requirement. For our farmers market program, which is our USDA program, and also for our My Groceries to Go program, which is also USDA program, there are income requirements for those 2 programs. But I just wanted to I've just seen a couple of questions popping up in the chat. I just wanted to just put our phone number out there for those who have any questions. Our number is 410-767-1100. The number down to the Maryland Department of Aging, and they can direct you to all of your local area agencies on aging and give you information on how to reach them.
Thank you. And is there any income requirements or anything? It's for everyone?
Were you addressing that to
Yes,
me?
to
I'm
you,
so
Ann.
sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So 211, we're a resource for everyone. Some programs may have income requirements, but anytime you're not sure who to reach out to, that's our role. Our role is to help you find whatever help is out there, and we'll tell you about the any of the particulars that we know about if there is an income requirement for that specific resource, that specific program. Yeah, please just give us a call, 211. If you forget how to reach out to any of the presenters, that's all included in our database as well, and we'll help you connect to these wonderful and very important programs that are out there. Our role is to help you find the help.
And someone asked for the larger items like power wheelchairs, do you provide a means to pick it up from a home? So I guess the person donating it.
Sure, we're able to provide scheduling ahead. We're able to provide pickup of donations as long as they're outside of the curbside. We're not able to enter any buildings or homes just for safety reasons, but we are able to provide direct pickups. Just give us a call, let us know what you'd like to donate, and we can direct you to the right satellite site if we're able to transport it. If not, schedule a pickup appointment from there.
And someone was looking for a bedside tables, the roll away kind you use in the hospital. They wanted to know if you had any of those available.
Sure, similar to ramps, a little less common, but we do typically have them. All items are first come, first served. So if you have any questions about a piece of equipment we have, just give us a call. Once we get the form, if we have it, it's yours. So any of that odd equipment, or if anyone else has questions about specific equipment, 240-230-8000 is our direct line. Please give us a call. That way we can learn a little bit more about you and your situation.
All right. And we are towards the end of our event for today. There was a specific question. I will send it to Anne so she can answer the question because we are out of time. I'm sorry about that. But I want to thank everyone for attending today's event. Please make sure that you look at our website and look at all of our presenters' websites for additional resources and information that could be available to you. We have some upcoming events, virtual events that we will be doing in February, where we have 4 different events throughout. I've run out of time, so please, if you could look at our website for those events, and please sign up and register. Great information will be given out, just like what you received today. So again, thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Anne, Latanya, and Ian, for being great presenters with great information. I really appreciate you doing this. So thank you again, everyone.
Thank you for having us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.